I can't remember if I made a video on this, but there's been kind of rumors going around that there is apparently a Elden Ring movie in the works, and now it's officially been confirmed that Ex Machina director Alex Garland is going to be helming a Elden Ring movie for A24, and George Railroad Martin will serve as producer on the film. So keeping in mind that George Railroad Martin did in fact write some of the sort of story that is in the backdrop of Elden Ring, mind you. Nothing too expansive, but it's interesting to know that, given that if you see the name George Railroad Martin on a movie poster, you're most likely going to watch it, given that when it comes to Game of Thrones, which something that is significantly well known for, did extremely well when they stuck to the actual source material, but when they passed the source material and went off to do their own thing, they kind of just turned left and crashed into a wall. I feel like that's the kind of car driving analogy you expect to hear from me when it comes to something like this. A24 and Bandai Namco Entertainment will produce the film, which has no release window, interesting to say, but according to Deadline, Peter Rice is set to produce the film alongside Andrew McDonnell, Alan Rake from DNA, George Railroad Martin, and Vince Gerardis. Now, I don't know any of these people except for George Railroad Martin. Martin worked on the original game, providing some of the game's backstory and world building alongside series creator Hidetaka Miyazaki. Alex Garland has also previously wrote and directed Annihilation, Men, and Civil War. He also wrote 28 Days Later and Sunshine, both of which were directed by Danny Boyle. Garland and Boyle recently reunited for 28 Years Later, which is out next month. Crazy to think that we're now getting a 28 years later after 28 days later, and 28 months later were quite a long time ago, 15 years ago I think at this point. But yeah, Garland has history in the video games industry, having co-written Enslaved Odyssey to the West. That's actually a game I want to go back and play. I have it downloaded on my PS3. I just need to boot it up and start playing. Oh my god, okay, that's very interesting to hear. And he also was a story supervisor on... No, we're not talking about this. We're not talking about DMC Devil May Cry. Are you kidding me? Young emo Dante just... No. We're not doing this again. Released in February 2022, Elden Ring comfortably from Software's biggest commercial hit. Hell, it sold I think 30 million copies at this point. Oh no, it says right here. I really need to read the article before I say something very out of pocket or off the top of my head. From Software recently announced the game had sold 30 million copies in 3 years. For comparison, as of March 2024, the entire Dark Souls trilogy had sold around 40 million. So we're talking about 3 games across 13 years. It sold 40 million in 3 years. Elden Ring alone is almost going to easily encapsulate that in the next couple of years or so. And of course, we also have the multiplayer spin-off Elden Ring Night Rain, which is coming out basically next month, I think, in June, yeah. And so Night Rain ditches the lengthy single-player adventure for a fast-paced co-op action game with roguelike elements. It really does kind of make me wonder if there's a possibility that Night Rain might actually be the first FromSoft game that might not be particularly not exceptionally great. It could just be a good game for all we know. But yeah, so film adaptation. Let's see. Film adaptation of the property is the latest video game film adaptation in the works at A24. The studio is also currently working with Kojima Productions on adapting Death Stranding, which is actually quite interesting. And of course, A Quiet Place Day One director Michael Sarnowski will direct the film adaptation of Hideo Kojima's game. Sarnowski will also write the film. It is currently unknown how involved Kojima is in the project, though Kojima Productions is co-producing the film with A24. Kojima's next game... Okay, so this is interesting. So A24 is working not just on, of course, the Elden Ring movie adaptation, but also the fact that they are also working on Death Stranding's movie adaptation. And I feel like nothing less than just trying to tackle the mainline story is going to work, given that movies can do the whole show you the story from the surface, but then the ability to be able to pull things together and then unveil everything at the end, that is something that this movie could do, but it's not the same as playing the game. Watching a movie with like intrigue and interesting elements and trying to put it all together, like get the audience to be in that mindset, is a lot harder to do in movies than it is to do in a game. I think a game is significantly I say it's significantly easier, but the problem is that like we have so many games that do it, and they're all just FromSoft games basically. So there is that element to all of this at the moment. I did not want to make a video about this originally because it was only rumors and speculation, but now all of this has officially been confirmed by Bandai Namco Entertainment. So I figured, okay, now we got to make a video on this because this is huge for a number of different ways. One being the fact that Elden Ring is just an exceptional game and extremely high quality, and I feel like a lot of people just absolutely love Elden Ring as a game. But I don't know how people would feel about it being a movie. So I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say about this. Like, do you guys think that Elden Ring would make for a good movie? Why? Why not? I'm very, very interested to hear what you guys have to say about this. And honestly, in my opinion, I don't think it's going to do good. I think it's going to be just a fine movie if it comes out. Because there is also a good chance that it gets canned and we see nothing of it. A lot of that has happened in the past, like the original Halo movie, for example, which we then got a god-awful Halo TV show in its place, which should have, I guess, just been aborted as well. But that's just kind of my thoughts and opinions on this whole situation that's going on here, and I want to hear yours. What do you guys think about all of this? Let me know in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 500 subs by the end of the year. With all that being said, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.